Hello guys, here we are, week 3, part 2, okay, and we're on the cheesecakes. So you remember just now I did a nice plain cheesecake, a nice simple one, and I've put some strawberries on top, and Miss is going to take a picture of that one and put that bad boy on the site with these, okay. So now for this next video, what I'm going to do is do a baked cheesecake. Now, I've done a little bit of prep just to save some time, all right, because very similar to the last cheesecake, obviously, a couple more ingredients, and of course this one gets baked in the oven. Now this one stays in the oven for quite some time, all right. I'm going to put it in the oven and it has to bake for a little bit of time, so obviously I'm not going to keep you waiting while that's cooking. So what we'll do is we'll bake it off here, and then later on we'll show you what the finished product looks like. Believe me, I know you're probably going to be thinking, I don't know about baking a cheesecake in the oven. I'm not sure about that, but it's really nice. It's really worth trying. Okay, so baked cheesecake. Now, first stage of it is the same as the last cheesecake. You know where I got the biscuit crumbs, and like I said to you before, you can use any type of biscuits. You know, just play around with it, have some fun. Maybe put some spices in there, cinnamon, nutmeg, whatever you want, not a problem. Ginger, and then I melted the butter on the stove, added the biscuit crumb to that, all right, and then I put that into my foil tray. Now that's the same as the last recipe, but on this recipe here, what we do is we bake the biscuit base, in the oven just for 10 minutes. Full instructions will be on the recipe, which will go with this video, so don't panic. But 10 minutes until that's golden and set. So I've done that already, and you can see it's pretty well set. Okay, not a problem. I would have cried if that had fallen out the tin then. I'd seriously cried, but it didn't, so we're good. So I'm moving on. All right, so that's all done and out the way. Now, typical cheesecake. All right, typical cheesecake. It's kind of like everything in a bowl, and away you go, mix it and boom. So I'm not going to bore you too much on that. So again, the cream cheese here. I've got the cream cheese that we've again just got a nice cheap one from a local supermarket. Doesn't cost a fortune this. If you want to get a nice, you know, sort of brand name cream cheese, you rock and roll. That's not a problem. I'm trying to create recipes that, you know, might be stuff that you have at home, or it's things that you can get really, really easily and cheaply. Okay, so cream cheese in there, a couple of tubs, a couple of smallish tubs in there. You might get a larger tub. That's fine, that's not a problem. Sometimes you can get cream cheese in really large tubs. Then, you know, you just do the one tub. So that to one side. Cream cheese is in there. Then into that, what I do, okay, is I put the sugar in next, and that makes it easier to mix the cream cheese. Okay, so there's quite a bit of sugar on that. I'll just check on this one, 125 grams. And on there it's got golden caster sugar. I'm just using a plain white caster sugar, it's not a problem. It doesn't have to be golden if you haven't got it. The golden one is the one that's slightly brown. But it's not a problem. You can see I haven't got that. I'm just using white. Now I'm going to mix all that, okay, until it's all combined and the cream cheese starts to get a little bit softer and a little bit easier to work with. There we go. That's getting nice and smooth there. Sugar's all mixed in. Beautiful. Cool. Now, what I would recommend at this stage is to make sure your oven is ready. Now, you've got to start off with this mixture here. It goes into quite a hot oven, so it goes into sort of like about 180 to 200 degrees. Quite hot for a normal sort of cake or anything like that. All right. And the reason for that is what you've got to do is it's going to brown it. Then we're going to turn the oven temperature right down low. Okay, and that's going to set it. So if we put this into just a cool oven, just to set it, you're going to have a cheesecake that kind of looks a little bit kind of bland and probably not that cool. But by putting it into the hot oven, brown it first, turn the oven down, then let it set, it will be great. Now, lemon again. This time, it wants the zest of just half a lemon. Okay? So remember I said, don't go too deep, don't go into that white stuff, because the white stuff, it doesn't really have the flavour of the lemon, it doesn't have the lemon oils in there. It doesn't really contribute or add anything to our recipe. So I think that's about half there. So that's good. That goes in there. Beautiful. Lemon in half. Bridge. Okay. Use the bridge method because it's quite large, like if we were cutting root vegetables or anything like that. Move this out of the way so you can see what I'm up to there. Now, this is cool because I've got a nice lemon squeezer here. You might not have one of these at home. Sometimes what I do, if I haven't got one of these close to hand, I use a fork and put that inside the lemon and twist it. It's just as good to get the juice out. I think that would be enough lemon juice for us. We don't put as much lemon juice in this one as we do the other recipes. So I think that will be fine for us today. Okay, so there's the lemon juice. Now into that, check my recipe. 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, so not very much. So I've got the half a lemon zest there, or the zest from half a lemon, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, that's in there. Mix that around, make sure that's all combined. It's looking good. Smells lovely as well. The zest from that lemon. Good, that's in there. Now, this is where it changes a little bit and things go in a different direction. Because now we're going to add flour, and we're going to add, I'm just checking my directions here again, sorry guys, we're going to add 1.5 tablespoons of plain flour. Chef's reaching for his tablespoons. There's not a lot of flour. This is basically just to keep the cheesecake together, to stop it curdling and separate. Just give it a little bit of body so that when it's cooked, it kind of cuts well and stays together. So the flour in there, just mix that around. So that's a little bit of a different ingredient from the last cheesecake recipe. Now, oh yeah, vanilla essence. Gotta love vanilla essence. Yeah, about a teaspoon of that. Get that one mixed in there. Now I said it's a shame we haven't got smell-o-vision. Now, another thing a lot of students say, oh God, I'm not very good at mixing, chef, and I don't like mixing by hand. Can I use one of these electric mixers? Yeah, why not? If you want to, you go for it. Use the electric mixer to mix it if you don't want to be mixing it by hand. You just need to remember, especially on cheesecakes, don't overmix it. Don't go crazy on this one. It doesn't like that. And then I just wanted to make sure, Chef at Christmas has gone home with 5 of these. It wasn't a Christmas present, believe me, all right? Chef has gone home with 5 of these at Christmas in his box, and they're in his shed that he's got to fix, because students, and you know, it's just sometimes teachers, what they do is they use a mixer and they go across the stove like this. Now, please don't do that, guys, all right? Don't get it anywhere near the stove. If you're going to be using it, go to the side of the stove like this. Don't do this at home, all right? Because obviously this stove, although you think, oh, it doesn't look hot, the cable goes on the stove, it's hot enough to melt the cable on these, okay? And I don't want you injuring yourself, okay? So, be careful when you use those things. And obviously cleaning it, okay? When you clean these machines, don't get anywhere near water or anything like that. Okay, right. Okay, so that's that. Now the next thing we're going to add to this is some eggs. 1, 2 eggs, okay, and I've got to put an egg yolk in. Now, so many different ways of separating for egg yolks. Mrs. looking at me, you're not using another bowl? Yes, I am, miss, I'm sorry, alright? A couple of different ways of separating. So crack the egg. Some people, what they like to do is they split the egg open and then bounce the yolk between the two halves of the egg. Alright? You can do that. Or you can just break the egg into the bowl like that. And then very, very carefully just take the yolk out with your fingertips like that and add that to that. Keep the egg white, you never know, you could use it for something. You might get a few of them together. They keep for a while in the fridge. You might decide to do some macaroons or some meringues or something like that with them. So, you know, don't waste that little egg white there. So in there I've got 2 whole eggs and an egg yolk. Okay? So that's good. And you notice that I've broken them into this bowl here instead of breaking them straight into here. Reason for that is sometimes in eggs you get sometimes the yolks can be a little bit weird, a little bit funny. Something might happen. If I break it straight into there, then I've lost that whole mixture. Much better to break into a bowl here to make sure everything's good, the eggs look alright, then I can add it to this mixture. At least if I just break them in, I've lost the eggs, but I haven't lost all of this stuff here. So that goes in there. Could have whisked it up before putting it in, but no need really, it gets all mixed up once it's in here. And we mix merrily. Might get a whisk in there in a minute, we'll see how it goes. I'll keep mixing for a moment. Right, so while I'm mixing here, next week, what we're looking at doing for next week's videos here is pizzas. And we thought that possibly we'll do a couple of different types of pizza. We'll do a flat normal pizza, and we'll make up the bread dough and do a topping and do some different things there. And then we'll do something called a calzone, which is a folded pizza, okay? And just show you what's happening with the calzone and how that is put together as well. Basically all the same ingredients, and we're trying to keep the ingredients as simple as possible. Now that's looking really cool, and I'm just making sure there's no lumps in there. Haven't really had to mix it too much. Kind of looks like a nice kind of thick custard or something, yeah? Right, so checking my tray there, yep, got all my ingredients in, happy with that. Now I do a version of this which is really nice, and what you do, and stay with me on this one guys, because I know that you're going to go, ooh, don't know about that, but it's really nice. I put sultanas in that and cinnamon, and it comes out really, it's lovely. It's very much like a traditional Austrian style baked cheesecake with the sultanas in there and the cinnamon. But you could try that. So that's my mixture. Now, some of you might notice that's a lot of mixture for that little tin. Yeah, it is. Okay, I reckon I would have been looking maybe at 2 tins for this one. It's just that I've used the tins here that we've got on site. You might have a larger tin at home. If you do, you might want a few more biscuit crumbs in there. You know, just vary it accordingly. So I'm not going to get all of this mixture in here, but I'll get as much as I can in, because it's so nice and I don't want to waste it. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so that is that. Dead easy again. Biscuit crumb base. This one gets baked off for 10 minutes. Take it out, let it cool. While that's cooling, do the filling. Cream cheese in there, sugar in there, lemon zest, lemon juice in there, eggs in there, a bit of flour in there, mix it all around. Nothing complicated. There's no, you know, if I can do it, believe me, anybody can do it. All right? That bad boy now is ready to get into the oven. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a tray, because it's a little bit, these foil trays are a little bit flimsy sometimes. So I put that on a tray. Now that's going to go in the oven here, towards the top of the oven, and I'm going to leave that in there for 10 minutes. It's on high, as I said before, about 190, 200 degrees. Temperatures will be on your recipes here, okay? That's going to brown in those 10 minutes. Then I'm going to turn that temperature right down to literally about 90 degrees. And it's going to stay in the oven. It stays in there now. I'm pretty sure it's probably about a couple of hours or so. It's quite a while. Let me just double check for you guys. 25. Oh no, sorry, my mistake. 25, 30 minutes in the oven. Okay, just on a low oven, just until it's set. Now, if you like your cheesecakes just under set, just still a little bit soft and a little bit not, I wouldn't say runny, but not quite set, then what you do when it's cooked, okay, is open the oven door and let it just cool. That's where the 2 hours came in. Let it cool for 2 hours. If you like your cheesecakes set and you don't want them soft or anything, then turn the oven off, but keep the oven door closed, and then leave it like that for a couple of hours. The cheesecake will set, okay? Pop the cheesecake into the fridge, whichever way you do it. Pop it into the fridge, best overnight if it'll last that long, okay? At least 2 or 3 hours. Chill it right down, and then it's ready to decorate. When this one's done here, what we'll do is we'll decorate it a little bit, and then what we'll do is take some pictures and put that on the site for you. We could put some grated chocolate over the top. We could do all sorts of things. All right, like I say, the cooking it's entirely up to you. Now, one thing I nearly forgot is the sour cream. This one can have a sour cream topping on it, okay? And you can put a little bit of sour cream in the cheesecake itself if you like. It's in the recipe. I haven't on this one, but you can do. All right. Sour cream. The sour cream, okay, gets mixed with some lemon juice and a little bit of sugar. Looking for a spoon here. And you're going to be like, really, chef? It's like, yeah, go with me on this one. Sour cream, little bit of sugar, mix that really well. There we go, nice and smooth. Okay, when the cheesecake comes out of the oven, sour cream on top. Put this on top. This soaks in, and it does give it a really nice topping. It's a bit like putting a kind of an icing on a cake. But try it, okay? And I should have, totally chef's fault, should have put a bit of sour cream in this mixture here, but it won't be a problem. Chefs make mistakes, and I've been cooking it for years and years, so don't worry about it if you make a mistake, all right? It's what it's all about. It's fun, don't take it too seriously, it's cooking. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Wellington Academy Cookery Club, pizzas next week. Have a brilliant week, all right? Enjoy, do a bit of cooking, get in the kitchen, and most of all, keep smiling.